Alright, and we apparently finally succeeded at getting back. It was not exactly the easiest week also with work travel, so didn't really make any streams week time, but trying to get back to this because now our conventions are practically done for this year, and even it looks like things might be improving a bit at work one day. So trying to get back to more regular schedule of like having streams in somewhat predictable manner. Also today was intended to start earlier, but it is a plan, it is not a promise, and as it is well known, all plans usually do not survive contact with actual prevailing reality on the field. So at least we are back at it, and we are again doing Necesse. Last time we destroyed our wool economy altogether because, of course, yeah, you whack at the sheep and you get wool, but you get wool only once. Then you have no sheep and ran out of sheep population on the island, and looked like shortly searched on the internet for like rumors about, is the game now ruined? Is it impossible to continue? And at least what found quickly through looking a bit at, it's possible to like use a boat to transport livestock from other islands. So it's like have to find more things and get a boat. So that's moderately viable. Like let's use a boat. Sounds doable. At least it's better than not having any wool ever again, because you can't make beds without wool, which pretty much makes you dead in the water, because if you want to have villagers you need beds, and for beds you need wool, which practically results in that you will have very unhappy villagers. So most probably we need to transport some sheep over by building a boat and then see about it. But yep, let's try to solve our slight instance of unsustainability. Like really, how would you like to be sustainable? Not. That indeed proved to be like the most unsustainable way ever to obtain wool. So that is our situation in the game, that we practically crashed our own economy quite thoroughly, and let's see if we can fix that. So let's move towards game and trouble with sheep. It might at worst amount a lot like with Frostpunk. It often is, hey, can we have a restart? And then it is then a restart it is. So let's get ready and good to go and see how that works for us or not. So there we are, and let's then see about hopefully less havoc. So let's then load game and see how it goes. Oh, month skipped 2004. Alright. Welcome around, and we of course hopefully do not permanently crash our sheep economy. So continue stream _1. There we are. And then we are in trouble. So we have wool but not enough for a bed. So then we try to remember the controls. We have like one bed which we share with. Sure. We actually do think that we like have a boat. Or at least thought we have a boat. Or let's see. There should be some kind of like crafting station and whatever. Workstation crafting guide. Bread. So our inventory contains pretty much everything imaginable. At least there's food. Food in the chest. Equipment. Boat. Can be used from the mount slot. Do we have a boat in the mount slot? Where is the mount slot? Next, very good question. Rock lever, grass seeds, spruce saplings, torch. Yep. Alright, so this is more like what has been obtained and what hasn't been obtained. Yep, there are a few items in the game. So then we are rather confused again. Like there is a separate slot for the mount, that do know. But alright, let's first of all reach water and then see, do we need to build a new boat? Have we actually succeeded losing the boat? As we succeeded at causing a disaster with the sheep, so let's see. Do we have a boat? Let's walk in the water and see. That doesn't look like boating. Hello there, duck. Yeah, let's make a boat and try again, because clearly we have no boat. That's a great start. So, how was everyone's week? Hopefully successful. Hello there, squirrel. Let's chop down some trees on the way so we have enough material for the boat. Wood sword, wood pickaxe, torch. Alright. Right, so that explains. We have like two. This is the old guy's house. And we could make exactly one bed, so. Ah, ham. Hello there. Oh. So, let's see about crafting, please. Make a boat. Right, now we have a boat. What slot is that? Mount slot, alright, so we already had one boat. It's good to have a spare boat. So there's like hotkey F. Does it if we push F, then go boating? Oh, good to hear. It was demanding in parts, but kind of improving gradually from the week, that at least not quite as out of it, which is a good start. We do have cows and bulls, but we succeeded at getting rid of all the sheep, so there we go. How about some boating? So let's see if we find an island with sheep. Alright, we should also eat soon, so alright, this is like cold biome, so do not think there will be any sheep in the cold biome. Alright, we have visited cold biome. Starts to be time to also use the torch. Alright, there's like a harbor. If we boat there, what do we find in addition to the dock? Quite a few persons. Alright. Pawnbroker, alright. Farmer. So there are also other towns. Quite a few professionals here, like Martha the alchemist and alright, this is probably the alchemist's house. Alright, let's also get game music now that remember to turn it on. So let's see about hopefully how do we actually open the inventory? We open a chest. There we go. Did we actually bring any food? Always a great idea. Yes. let's consume bread because it anyway spoils in 5 hours. And use the bed, so let's see if our good alchemist gets angry if we sleep in their bed. There's some random guy who arrived with a boat sleeping in my bed. Alright. Alright. What is that smell around here? Will you join my settlement? We should be able to first make more beds, so... Now that it's a new day, let's continue our quest for sheep. So there's a town here, good to know. Somehow seems this island isn't going to be the best thing ever as far as the sheep go. It's like a swamp in that direction. Right, we can like harvest berries apparently from here, so it's good to have some berries to eat. Alright, Melissa the hunter. The core component of a bow is the me. Alright. Interesting. Right, what do you sell? This game seems to have the main issue that everything... Alright, you can buy hunter boots, which are cosmetic items. Alright. Is this the same or different island? Like, at least there are again a lot of bulls. Right, we arrived back in our own settlement. Let's try going in the other direction, because we are still trying to kind of solve the sheep problem foremost. There are plenty of cows, but no sheep. Alright, let's go boating. Alright, river. Alright, like desert biome that most probably neither has any sheep. So we have found the desert biome also. Very sandy desert sands. then we have larger. That was fast boating, like start with speed. Interesting island. Alright, this is most probably like jungle biome. That probably doesn't either have sheep. Yes, there are sheep. So, how do we transport the sheep? Alright, we also have slimes, so let's take the sword out. Alright, the slimes are quite tough, like 240. 240. And even more. So how do we get the sheep to follow us, or do we need like Alright, that went well. That's quite far away. So actually time continues even when in menu. Do we have a boat? Do we need more boats? Yep. Alright, the boat stays. It will be quite a journey. Let's take more food. Roasted mutton. At least we made good use of the sheep. Main problem is how durable the slimes actually are. Yep, I'm sure having your own pet would make you happier. That's the whole start of the problem. We would probably need rope or something. Let's see if we can craft such first of all, so that we can actually take the sheep along, because let's make sure to read the instructions sufficiently also. Torch, storage, card craffer stable, settlement, feeding through egg nest, wood, whatever, stone, whatever, stone door, stone wall. Alright, equipment, pickaxe. Zephyr boot. Bucket shears. Alright, so that's how you shear the sheep. Yep, so that's how you get wool. Yes, that would have been useful to learn first. Alright. So alright, and then we have at least the card is very good at doing damage, if nothing else. Alright. Yes, yes. So practically we have to travel all the way back. Still do not know what object we need to actually transport the sheep. We can't talk to the bull apparently. Alright. Let's see if the farmer actually gathers anything on the husbandry zone. Still unsure how to transport the animals. In any case, we should at least get our things back from the slimes. Let's try that first. At least we do have a lot of cows, but we clearly need something to pull on the animals with. quite complex map actually. Alright, you can also cross the river through just walking. Alright, there's pretty fancy farm settlement here. Just in the villager. So there are other villages also. They do have pretty nice big thing going. What does the farmer sell? Rope. Used to rope most passive animals. It was exactly what I was looking for. Let me guess that we dropped our coin also when we expired. At least we do not have coins, so what can we sell? I am buying these items. Wet sunflower. Yep. So we can't sell whatever. So that explains the rope thing. Alright, there's also a turtle. So we need coin to buy the rope. Hopefully we drop the coin along with the slimes. So let's boat over there and see. Alright. Alright, at least we have everything back, and there are about 10 million swamp slimes, so let's boat back and see if we now have enough coin to buy rope. At least that's quite logical, like, yeah, you need rope. Right, that's actually a different settlement. Here's the farming one again. Fortunately, at least the travel distance is modest. Right, we do still have some blueberries, so there we go. 140 coins. Really. Fertilizer, only 16 coins. Yeah, clearly coins are needed. Alright, let's cheat and use the farmer's bed. Because apparently every bed can be used. Fancy. Ah, hello there, Jax. In general, the game seems very logical. You can use any bed you want. That's logical. Would be nice to also be able to buy some rope, but it's like... Alright. Let's take the sword out and fight the zombie. Maybe he has coin. Nope. Would be good. Like that would be of some use. Stone arrow. Yeah. Of course, none of these have coin. What did you do that for? How about an accident? Alright. The scorpion neither had coin. Oh. Yep. That tends to be the kind of very pervasive sensation. Alright, we found arrows. So we know where there are sheep, but we don't really know how to make coin. Or even how to make rope. Let's see, does our facilities even have means of making rope? Station was this. Alright, candle tikitos, lamps only, alright. And every possible wood. Carpet spots, banners, columns, that had a lot of furniture, object styles, miscellaneous, minecart track, minecart, wood boat. You can make also more crafting guides out of logs and leather. Paper goods, apparently. So their boots, clothes, robe. Alright. Sickle, Cheers bucket. Roasting station, campfire, iron anvil, carpenter's bench, cooking pot, grain mill. Sure. At least it's not made on a cartographer's table. Currently it's up until we figure out a fix for it. The game is not clearly quite finished. So probably one main purpose would be to make more rope. Forge, indeed. Looking for points of interest. Map shows north of your location. Exotic merchant, like we had money. Exotics. Cheeseburger. Yep, that would be an exotic. Local pirate map. Alright, cosmetic item, turban. Exotic shoes. Alright. Seems not the most useful merchant ever. So we still need rope to get sheep, and it's kind of like getting coin isn't that easy. Apparently he's mostly interested only in the quest. Sure. There was something interesting to the north. Let's see. Still more comprehensive map mode. Yes. Yes, we already know about that NPC village. Alright. We haven't mostly studied at all what comes to exploration in eastern direction. There's the hunter. A lot of cows here, we just need to... Alright, we again have swamp slimes here. We are already used to. They are slow to destroy with the wooden sword. Do you think there would be more effective swords available if we could make metal first? It's kind of like, yeah, how about that? entry. Alright. Also nightfall, so let's walk back. Kind of still do not totally understand how to use the torch, because you can place the torch, but... Alright, let's see. Like, how about you fight in the dark? Works. But how do you actually hold the torch? Alright. No, it again dropped it. Alright. We are also quite close to the settlement, so that works. How about we do the old man's bed this time? Hopefully your teeth were otherwise fine, Jacks, that no need for many repairs otherwise. Alright, and still we wonder how to get rope. The old man has nothing. It would be good if you could take some coin. Yep. How about we try to find coin in the dungeon? At least we have a lot of torches in place, so that makes things a bit easier. There we go, extra coins and extra torches, so that does improve things a bit, like. Alright, that was quick, like. Yeah, how about a vampire? Hopefully the vampire has coin. Nope. Yep, that would have been nice. Still also kind of unsure how to, without opening a container, get the inventory. Like, do we have key bindings? Alright, it's E, not I. And of course, you should have like health potion somewhere here. Ninja Star, Iron Arrow, Mana Potion. Rapid potion. Stone oak lock spruce. Health potion. Good. Let's put those instead of like some sapling here. So quick health potion. There we go. Much better. How about 9 health? Good. Hopefully we now have enough coin for the... Let's still get a bit more to be sure, but we are now approaching like what it was, I think 140, so we are approaching rope level of coin. That's an improvement. See if we dig this, because it's different color. Copper ore, alright. Yep, that's good. How many coin we do have now? Alright, 168. Do you think that should be enough? So let's see if this works. At least we are trying hard to get rope to get the sheep. How about you solve your problems? Right, it's daytime. So let's eat. Should also have the mutton, so let's go for that next. Alright, spoils in 2 hours 40 minutes, so better have plenty of mutton. Good. Let's see again if we can buy rope in the desert. Alright, and then we keep walking and keep walking. We need to find the farming settlement. Let's check map where it is, because we do have the... Right, it was here. Yep. So nightfall, so let's take sword out. Here we go, now we can maybe buy the rope if we can find the farmer again. exactly one rope. That and none. Alright, we are carrying 2 wood swords even. Night is also falling, so let's use farmer's bed and let them fight the zombies. Like very useful. You can sleep in any bed in the world, which is of course a good start. What time is it actually? Alright, it's morning, so let's wake up and go. Now we have 1 rope. Now we have to find again the place with the sheep. Fight slimes, rope sheep. Try to get the sheep back. It looks like a ruin. Let's check that out. Coconut. Alright. Fishing potion. Swamp larva. Overgrown fishing rod. Used for fishing. Why is it overgrown? Overgrown. Alright. And you use the worm bait used while fishing. Overgrown fishing rod. Sure. Fishing potion. Probably also clear up the inventory a bit. We do, for example, have a single spruce log. 100 stone arrows. Alright. And immediately hit the swamp slime. Alright, now the sheep is roped. Can we then take the sheep on a boat? Doesn't look very promising. Can we put another boat on the sheep or something? Like we do have an extra boat. Actually, we can take the sheep through the whole ocean. Really. Alright, the sheep swims, that works. How about you go boating with sheep? Quick sheeping. be good to check the map where our settlement is here, so alright. Violet the Angler, yeah. How about you not arrive while and make more beds? We would probably need to build an enclosure also, but now we have a sheep. Can we make shears? Sickle, cloth, hat, boomerang. Right, we need more iron bars. Alright, where's our sheep? Yeah, it would be good if we had enclosure. But that's not our main problem currently. We at least now have sheep on the mainland again, so let's use the fort with some logs for fuel, and we should have iron ore, hopefully. Alright. Local dungeon map, stone, iron ore. There we go. Now we have 3 bars. Apparently 2. Iron ore is not enough. We might have to mine more from the dungeon. Yep. Requires 10 iron bars, so yeah. Alright, about 20 minutes remaining. Then it is a good question where our sheep is, but at least that's not the most pressing issue. We now know how to transport more sheep in and lose them. Plenty of cows though. So let's see if we can mine more iron ore in the dungeon. Right, that chest wasn't very full. Right, more torches needed. Broken iron tool. Sounds very useful. Copper ore. And alright, the zombie had iron ore. Safety last. Yep. That was TNT. Yep. Alright, let's go and reclaim our things from the dungeon. Classic plunder. I do not even know the game enough to make it a plunder because wanted to try the lever, so didn't really notice the TNT there. Alright, let's see how far. Small sapphire cluster. Yep, TNT. Didn't really see the TNT box, was like there's something. How about we throw the vampire with the torches? Yeah, that blew up a lot of the dungeon. This be iron ore. Yep. It's probably clay. Yep. Alright, how much iron ore we have now? 5. It's not very common. So alright, also got a map fragment. Alright, there should be like sapphire cluster there, so let's get mining crazy. Apparently. We are getting sapphires. Hopefully there's some sane use for them. Alright. Sapphires. Maybe there's some useful use for sapphires then. Crafting material. Can we then do some like tempt or otherwise useful item? We are also currently out of torches. It would be more useful to use the sword in any case. Alright, let's use the other bed. Yeah, we have the card, so let's use the forge in the meantime then. We have 7 iron ore, so still no 10 iron bar, but we are getting more. There hasn't been that many iron mining opportunities certainly in the dungeon yet. So we still need more iron ore to make shears. We also now have use of the bed, so let's take advantage of that. Do also have sapphires. To wonder, do we need some kind of like gem setting station? Again, something different. Snowstone, alright. Bucket. Alchemy table, alright, requires logs. Cooking pot, grain mill. Compost bin, incinerator. Yeah. Alright, Lindsay the animal keeper. And of course Lindsay has no sheep either. Will you join my settlement? I can help you around with also farming and husbandry. That's nice, but alright, starts to be pretty fair time to start finishing. We have done about usual stream length and kind of on the edge somewhat about this game, in the sense that it is kind of it has a lot of stuff and not sure if care all that much for it overall. It's a lot like Minecraft in 2 dimensions, and it's kind of repetitive, but we have been trying it a couple of times and kind of finding that it might not be totally this one's game for now. So let's see, we even had schedule ambitions. Tomorrow we will do Dwarf Fortress Classic, which is a bit different and different overall humor at least. So that's one thing certainly. Dwarf Fortress, and might also do that a bit longer so that we actually get some time with that, because it's nice due to the overall involved, somewhat offbeat procedurally generated game content, so that should be maybe a bit more interesting. Have to say that find this kind of repetitive overall the Necesse, like yes, you try to mine in the quite similar dungeon, and iron ore is clearly hard to find. Might again return to Necesse at some point, but do think we are going to now see who we will raid. So thank you all for joining, and we will return tomorrow, most probably with Dwarf Fortress, unless come up with some totally different game that would like to do so. In that respect also, thank you for joining. It was still quite fun dying in Necesse, so we will see tomorrow. And indeed, do not pull the lever next to the box of TNT. Didn't really notice TNT was like, yeah, there's something clickable. It also opened a lot of ore things, but however you handle that correctly, because the lever is next to the box, you clearly can't pull the lever. So TNT. So let's then see who we will raid, who's doing what. Alright. Alright, Avalanche says that doing the new Anno game. Let's go for that. Yep. There we go. So, thank you for joining, and see you tomorrow a bit earlier in the evening for some Dwarf Fortress Classic before sauna. That at least is kind of like interesting game to watch, because we are of course doing the ASCII version. It wouldn't be quite characteristic of this one to do the graphics premium version. Indeed, be well, and we are trying to return to regular streaming now that most of the kind of like time sinks for this year are done. So there's more time for streaming and more time with you also. Be well. Thank you.